The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
What's up and happy Wednesday, and welcome to One Eye Shut, a podcast about many subjects from the perspective of three married couples. You can listen to us on defylifepods.com, iTunes, Spotify, and just about every other podcast platform there is. We want to acknowledge our patrons of the week, Jennifer Griffiths and Patricia Sanchez. Thank you, ladies, for your support. My name is Gina Glenn, and I'll be your host for tonight. And with me, I have my husband, Al. Al, you want to say hi to the people?
What's up, everybody? This is A.L. What's going on? How y'all doing?
We also have Chiquita and Thomas, also known as Pooh.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So glad to have this subject tonight. Ready to get it in.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm definitely excited to dig in.
All right, and last but not least, we have Ladine and JR, the founder of DefyLife.com.
Hey, y'all.
What's up, y'all? Let's get it in. I'm ready to get dragged through the mud tonight.
All right, y'all. So this is our third episode. We've had some juicy conversations. We've given you a little taste of who we are and what we're about, both as individuals and as couples. And tonight we're going to give you another peek into our lives as we talk about pet peeves. What are those things that drive you absolutely crazy that your spouse does or doesn't do? Can't go in. We're trying to be nice. We're going to keep this cordial. You know, at the end of this hour, we want everybody to still be happy with each other. We ain't trying to get no divorces. Okay? All right, so let's start with you, Chiquita.
We're going to be dead 3 episodes in.
Oh, my goodness.
Here
Well,
we go.
I have a long laundry list.
I know. Start with the ones you want the people to hear the most.
Don't do it like that. Yeah, do it like that. Don't show out like that.
Don't do it like that.
Okay, so I'm going to go with my number one first. So my number one is when, I've kind of changed my lifestyle. So I'm getting a little closer. Jesus is the homie. So, being that we're quarantined, we have now virtual, Sundays or whatever. So we watch it online. Mm-hmm. Well, as I say, but I do. So I'm sitting beside him because I usually like to do either the 7 or the 9 o'clock service online. And so Thomas is asleep. I have it up blasting though. It's like on my phone. I'm listening to it. I'm praising, listen to it, into it. He loves to turn around, and clearly I hear him snoring. He loves to turn around and say, yeah, what PT talking about? Like he's interested. I'm like, I want to say the N-word. Boy, you ain't highly interested in what's going on with this service today. And then when I said, I was like, I'll look over and I was like, please, let's stop. And so he's like, please, let's stop. What's going on? I'm trying to see what Pastor talking about. Yeah, right. You're not interested. So that's my first pet peeve with him.
Maybe he's getting the word though through his sleep. They say you can hear your subconscious might be picking it up.
There you go.
So it's virtual.
Wait.
So I don't have to get up.
Funny right now, okay? Because I'm thinking like, if that was me and JR was blasting that shit, I'd look over and be like, nigga, if you don't go to the other,
hey, but you have to be partners with the Lord. You're not supposed to just have one in the house.
It's virtual and it's being recorded. So I don't have to. I don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn with the roosters to hear the sermon. Once I get up, I can check it out then because it's hard for me to go to sleep anyway. So I'm probably been asleep for probably an hour. So yeah, I don't have to get up then to listen to it.
Oh wow!
So Thomas, are you saying that later on in the day you listen to the recording?
No doubt. No doubt.
While he's doing something else.
Yeah, while I'm shaving my head or
He's
something.
not focused.
Wow.
All right, Keita, what else you got?
All right, so this is my second one. So, you know how Thomas he'll go. This is funny. Sorry.
Don't.
So, you know how you know how a person will step out the shower, smelling all good.
What are you about to say?
Looking like a snack as always. And then bam. I'm looking at him like, what are those? And he done oiled down everything else, and he always leave his legs and feet.
I do not.
Never oil.
It's not true. I'm gonna take a picture of half my feet, and I'm gonna put them on the page.
Man, don't put your ass feet on the page, man. I don't see your ass feet, cuz.
You be shining for the makeup.
I'm gonna put my ankles on that joint.
He's a faker when he go in the bedroom because he got the shoulders, the chest, everything else oil up. And I'm looking, I'm like, dude, why you oil your feet and your legs?
Please stop. That man been years ago, yo. But now,
then when he tried to oil it finally, all you hear
hey, that's a total. This problem was like, okay, I didn't oil my feet, in 08. You know what I'm saying?
And he still asked.
Years of neglect.
Hey, Al, but I'm oiling them joints now. Hey, I'm oiling them joints now. Chill out.
So Thomas, you said she just got to let go of the past, huh?
Yeah, no doubt.
Y'all, that's years of neglect. I'm telling you.
Okay. Keita, you got one more.
I have one more. Should I get raunchy or no?
Raunchy? What are you talking about?
Save your marriage, girl. Save your marriage.
I want the rating.
I'll leave it for an X show. Okay, so let me see. What's another one? Okay, I'll do PG. So this one right here, I can't stand it. So we've already we'll eat a good dinner, whatever. But he's always the one that never finished his plate, which is fine. That's fine if you don't finish. That's whatever. But for some odd reason, he'll put the plate in the microwave.
Dude,
he never touches. I'm like, why would you even wrap that up? Because you know you're not going to eat that. You're going to go back into the pot, whatever we have left. I can't stand that. He leave food in the microwave all day. I can't stand it. Every time I see it.
That's rarely, but I give her that. It's rarely though. But
okay, but Thomas, why you leave the food in the microwave though?
I don't get it.
Look, I don't.
You know he's not gonna go back and eat it.
Feel bad you saving it or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Because I'm thinking I'm gonna go back to it because when I was living with my mom, she was always, well, if you don't finish it, put it in the microwave, finish it later. So that just always stuck with me about putting it in the microwave. But it's true. I may put it in there, but I never go back and eat it.
Yeah, I can attest to that.Oo's always done that. So yeah, I can attest.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Jay.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you already owned up to it, so I'm piggybacking with you.
Yeah, that's not bad. Owning up to one out of the three.
So far.
The feet was a long time ago. So
far, but Keita, we're gonna have to hear those other ones on the conversation after the show. After the show.
Wow. Yeah. There you go.
All right, Thomas, what you got? Your turn to tell on her. What you got?
Man, I really hate when so we talking, her and I, we're talking, and I may say something, it's an idea, and I hear her maybe a day later or a few hours later saying, yeah, I thought about X, Y, Z. Hey, I'm like, I'm like, damn, kid, she pleasurizing me. Like, how she play?
I've never done that to me.
What? I was like, what? I mean, you just gonna take it like that? You know? Yeah. So,
Chiquita, you an idea stealer. just take his shit and run with it, huh?
Right.
I make it better.
she'll be, I said, and I'll be like, you said what? But
and we don't have no denial, so she must do it.
so if I'm near, I'll just peep around the corner, and I won't say anything, you know, aloud. I'll just look at her and be like, wow, you know.
She looked at you like, what? What?
Right.
Summer?
Right.
The blatant, you blatant plagiarist.
Like, switch up and give you a little bit of credit when you
she's done that like 1 out of 10. I heard her switch it up and say, we. And I'd be like, we, but you know, hey, it's all good. It's all good. She can have it. But another one is I hate when she calls me. She'll be like, Thomas, and I'll be like, yeah, what is it? Yeah, what is it? Yeah, what is it? No response. So I hear Thomas, and I'll be like, yeah, what is it? No response. And I'm like, man, she tripping. So so finally I go in there, and I'll be like, yo, why you calling me? I won't say nothing. Well, obviously I wanted you to come here because I called your name. And I'm like, what? Why didn't you just tell me, you know, what you want instead of having me to come in there and see what's going on? So I really hate when she does that. Just tell me what you need. You know, don't call my name 52 times and be like, put some ice in my water cup. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me, put some ice in my water cup.
Or Thomas, you could just go when she called your name.
Man, nah,
there you go. I can't stand yelling across the room.
Just say what you want.
Come see what I want.
Just say what you want. And another joint is, all right. Okay. I thought about this long and hard with Jay now. You know.
You put my name in it now.
Watch out, Al. You next.
I pondered over this long and hard with Jay and Al last night on the show, right? So, now I got Al in that deep water.
He ain't telling me about this. I haven't listened to y'all's show yet. Come on with it.
So this right here used to make me so mad. This make me so mad with Chiquita. And the other night we were washing dishes together, and I was like, yo, you know what? You really used one of my most pet peeves with you. But I didn't tell her what it was. I was saving for the show. So you know.
I already know.
So but she hasn't done this. I do want to say this in about 5 years. She haven't done probably longer than that. But it used to always burn me up, and it used to eat at me. Yeah, I got to tell you. You don't want me to say it?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so say it. Okay.
No shame in my game.
Okay. So she used to always tell the story on how we met, right? So, you know, the same one she told on the show. But she used to always throw in, you know, Thomas wasn't he ain't really look like my type. You know, he wasn't really my type. So I used to be like, what the fuck, I'm chopped liver or something? What you mean? I ain't your type. You know, so no, but you know what I'm saying? She's saying he ain't my type like I'm ass or something.
That must have been when you was going through your pretty stage, Pooh.
Hey, Jay, so I ain't never had appreciate that. I ain't never appreciate that. Like, what you mean your type? Then I saw some cats that I'm like, but those were your types? You know, hey, but it's all good. That's my 3, man. That's my 3. But you don't do that no more, though. I appreciate that.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. They used to burn me up.
Oh, wow.
We know that Thomas, a church dodger. that Chiquita is an idea stealer. And
Right.
Thomas was never her type.
Her type. Like I've been butt. I was
Hey,
like,
Pooh.
yo, what do you mean?
Pooh, I'm gonna give
Hey,
you.
Like
you-
people who
I
have
bet you.
lotion
I bet you. If Pooh go back through and look at all them other dudes from her past, I bet you they all got glossy ankles. I
and
guarantee.
they ain't got old food in their microwave.
Right.
Hey, that's what it is. That's what it is.
All right, you laughing real hard, Jay. It's your turn, Ladine.
I'm laughing to keep from crying, man.
Let's see if you're gonna be laughing when she finished.
Right.
What you got, Lay?
He's not gonna be tired. Okay, so I
Hey,
love
just-
you, babe.
I love you too.
Let me
Just
preface
know
this.
whatever you say, I'm gonna do it right after the show.
I know. It's not
Don't
funny.
get in trouble, Ladine. Don't get in trouble. It ain't worth it.
All right. So, oh my goodness, my husband. Number one is now. There's several different aspects to this thing. Okay. So the dishes. This man does not like to do dishes. Now, if y'all know, he's the baby of the family. He lived with a bunch of women. They babied him. They nurtured him. They took care of him. And he ain't do shit. All right? So, he does not like to do them at all. It, like, pains him to do the dishes.
My hand is already raised.
So the main thing that bothers me about the dishes is that if he goes to cook and there's dishes in the sink, he will put the dish on the side of the fucking sink instead of washing the dishes to use the sink. Like, what are we doing right now? Who does this? Okay? It literally makes me crazy. But then I understood when one day I go to visit my sister-in-law in New York, and I go and I went to use the sink, and I said, no, the fuck you don't. She was like, oh my God, what are you talking about? I was like, did you come here? And she was like, I said, why did you do this? So I broke it down to her, why I hate it so much. She said, oh my God, that's so funny. And it was not funny to me. I was like, I know my mother-in-law and my father-in-law don't do this. I know mama done raised y'all right. What is wrong with y'all? Oh my God. You don't understand. Nothing makes me crazier than that. It literally like boils my blood. I cannot.
After he put on the side of the sink, he cooks. And who does he put the dishes back in the sink?
Hell
They
yeah.
might stay on the side. No, he's
And you have to do all the dishes afterwards.
All the dishes. I come in the middle of him cooking just to do the dishes because I know if I don't do it in the middle of him cooking, that it's gonna be a fucking wreck by the time I get there. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. What else you got?
Yeah. What else I got? Okay. Oh, this is hilarious. Loves to go tit for tat, right? If the argument, we're in the conversation, we could be talking about something, anything we're talking about. He's very much of a debater. He's a great debater. He's a great conversationalist, but he loves to go tit for tat. And I can't stand that shit. Because for me, the worst thing in the world is when people just don't own up to their shit. And that's just people in general. I can't stand it. It makes me fucking crazy. Like, all right, I understand I might do that, but we're not talking about me right now. And if you have a fucking problem with what I do, then you address that shit and make sure that you address it at the time so that it can just be addressed and that's it. Right? But right now we're talking about you. So I need us to talk about you. Okay? And he always goes tit for tat. Oh,
Yo, Ladine.
that makes me crazy. Yeah.
Al does the same mess.
We're not talking about me right now. This is Ladine's.
But you know what? Now listen. We're gonna talk about this right now for a second because I didn't have that on my list. But that right there drives me bananas.
Insane. I cannot.
Yo, I'd be like, if you had a problem with that, why you didn't speak on it when it happened?
Right, and how the fuck you mad at me right now for addressing my shit that I got to address with you when I'm trying to address my shit? Now, I'm not going to act like I never did that before with him because I have done it. But he does it all the time. I'd be like, well, can you get this? Well, did you do this? Like, nigga, why right now? What are we doing?
All right. So can
I got one more.
What can the defendant speak on this?
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, no, go ahead, because it's like my defense to this is actually one of mine. So go ahead, Bert.
Oh, okay, cool. Then we'll wait. Go ahead, Ladine. Get your last one in before he start defending himself.
I know that's right. Okay. So now, what's the next one? Oh my God. All right. Now, it was mad funny when Barack Obama was in office, right? I remember Michelle saying something, right, about him always leaving his drawers on the floor next to the bed. And I hated when she said this because after she said it, he was like, "See, Barack does it
too." Presidential drawers.
Who
don't want to pick the president?
That's the best justification I think we're going to hear all night.
His presidential drawers. Oh, no, they ain't fucking presidential. He leaves his drawers on the floor. He leaves his socks on the floor. I mean, I'm talking about where he's sitting. We're in his seat. He's got his lovely recliner, the king chair, all right? And he will leave his socks right there on the floor next to the chair. Like, could you not pick them up and put them where they supposed to be? I don't understand what's happening right now. And then I'll go around the whole house when it's time to do laundry, and I'm like, anybody got laundry? Jay quiet like a motherfucker, right? Then I go to his side of the bed. There's a pile of fucking clothes over there on his side of the bed. I'm like, and
you said laundry clothes. There's a difference.
What? It's dirty laundry. So that it's just ridiculous. But at this point, I'm just used to it. I mean, it's not that I'm used to it. There's that shit that you learn to live with, right? And but it doesn't make me crazy till this day. All of those things make me crazy. I'll come out in the living room in the morning and I'll see stuff and I'm like, Billy, you couldn't just get that shit before you went to bed. You couldn't pick your socks up and throw them in the hamper. It's on your way to the room, fam.
Nope.
Come on, son.
You said, Ladine, what's happening here? I'll tell you what's happening. You married a glimpse man.
Okay, say it again.
That's the bottom line. That's the end of it. And I would bet most of my money that if you talk to the wives of the glimpse men, 2 out of 3 of those things that you just said, the dishes and leaving them damn socks and drawers everywhere, I bet you they all have the same issue.
And don't let them do the dishes. I have to come back behind them and pick them up.
You going on to number 4 now.
All right.
You had your 3.
Right.
You had your 3. Okay. Go on, defender. Let's hear it.
Come on.
You ain't got nothing to say now?
Where the dirty drawers at?
He went to go run and pick them up.
I was speaking with my attorney, preparing my defense.
Okay.
Good job.
First of all, Gina, I appreciate you for saving me for last. Look at all this glorious time at the end. And my wife doing a 4th one. Oh, this is about to be great. Epic.
No. Number 1. All right. You ain't.
So,
Jay.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You ain't getting 4 now. You only get 3. I told you the women, I might let the women have some extra latitude. Damn. You only getting 3.
All
right. So choose wisely.
All right. Nah. So first, my defense, and this one is going to cover 2 of them anyway. So it may seem as if I'm going tit for tat in a debate or an argument, whatever it is, when it's something that she does that she's complaining about me doing, because I'm big on personal accountability, right? So I have a big issue with people in general, and especially the person that I spend most of my time with, my wife, not policing herself the same way she polices me. Right? So whether it comes to, because while my socks may be chilling by my chair, there are 19 pairs of sneakers and shoes on the way to the room that belong to my wife. And I trip over those in the middle of the night. She puts them in the doorway. Like, it don't matter where they are. She'll put them directly in my path. I have to go around the bed to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. She'll put them between the dresser and the bed. So I'm literally every night, if I got to piss, she'll hear this in the middle of the night. I didn't interrupt you. Get that lady off my call, please. Gina, can you please mute that lady? So in the middle of the night, she hears me saying, God damn, oh shit, what the fuck? Like, I'm literally cussing and screaming about the fall all the way to the bathroom because there's a row of boots and sneakers all the way to the bathroom or wherever I'm going. And she got the nerve to wake up in the middle of the night, like, nigga, what the fuck? Why you making all this noise? Like, so... So that's when my defense is in, God damn, you complaining about my socks, but I'm tripping over 19 pair of Jordans on the way to... So that's why she think I'm going tit for tat, because I'm like, don't police me if you can't police yourself. That's my defense to that, right?
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
You didn't hear any denial, did you?
No, we didn't hear denial. But let me give a defense for her, though. Well, I don't know if I can.
Oh.
However, one of the differences is you don't have to pick up her Jordans. Do you ever like clean up and pick up her Jordans and put them away?
Yes, I do. I just don't I don't have to mention it every time. I don't have to make it a conversation when I pick her shoes up. I just do it.
Until she brings up your drawers, and then you make it an issue.
Like that, but because that's what I'm saying is because in the...
Okay. I'm just saying.
Because in the moment...
The issue when,
no, I hear your question.
When you was picking them up.
Right, I heard what you said.
When she's talking about your socks. I'm just saying.
But it shouldn't be an issue for her to pick up my socks if she know I'm picking up her shoes. Police yourself it's the same way you police me.
Wrong.
I don't go to my next door neighbor's house like, damn dog, your car dirty as fuck. And my car look like shit. Like, police yourself the same way you police me.
Bad analogy.
I know it is on purpose. That's what I'm saying. But
another trait. Bad analogy.
I sense some bias in your argument, Gina. But okay. Number two.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, lady, can you please mute this lady talking through my conversation? I didn't talk to her.
Ladine, let him have his piece. Come
all
on,
right,
number two.
all right.
What you got, Jay?
All right, my second one, which is probably, to me, and it may not be the same because, like for everybody here, but to me, this might be one of the biggest points of contention in our relationship since we met. And I kind of gave up a couple years ago, is cursing at and around my kids. Like, when I say cursing, I mean like grown folks, like cussing you out kind of cursing. This has been an issue for us since we met. And she started out talking to me that way. And I had to I had to raise up and become an angry black man in the middle of an argument because I was like, you ain't gonna fucking talk to me that way. Where I'm from, you talk to somebody that way, you want action, boss.
Right,
So,
right.
So
now wait.
No, Ladine, no.
So I kind of had to snap at her one time, like early in our relationship, like, we don't talk, what I'm saying, where I'm from, you talk to somebody like that, like you want some action. If other than that, we can have a conversation and it can get heated, but you ain't gonna talk to me like that. So after we had kids, like that was one of my biggest things was, don't talk to my kids that way, even though they're your kids too, but they're people, they're our people. Don't talk to them like that. Don't talk around them like that. And we've been together 11 years total. Probably for that first the first 7 years, she sold me on it. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, you're going to get better. You're going to change. Like, she was like giving me all kind of receipts. And I was like, yeah, she going to change. She going to get better. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be all right. And yeah. And about 4 years ago, I finally gave up. I just don't say anything anymore. But I really feel like, and I still feel like I was sold a bill of goods, because I feel like, our kids have even chimed in before and said that they don't like it at times.
Okay, now hold up. This is a very serious discussion here and conversation, right? And Pooh was able to defend himself, so I got something to say. This is number one. He done married a New York Puerto Rican, all right? And I don't know about any of y'all, but I was raised in a home where my parents cussed at each other.
Before you go any further, can I please rebut whatever you're about to defend point by point? Because I don't want to wait to the end and try to remember it all.
No, hold on.
I'm asking you a question.
What?
As you're going through your points of defense, I want to knock them down one by one. Because I don't want to wait to the end.
No,
go ahead.
All right, go on, so we can see the battle. Go ahead, Lay.
No, I don't want to battle with him.
I'm battling. I'm just saying why. I'm about to tell you why it's a bullshit excuse.
Oh my God! But we're not doing that right now. So anyway, that's number one. Number two,
this is my part of the conversation. Yo, man, this shit ain't fair. I'm throwing a flag on this shit.
Oh my God! I'm just showing them.
All right, Jay.
Yes.
Go ahead with your number 3.
Thank you.
No.
Go ahead.
Because you're not gonna. Because you really saying this, and I don't need listeners thinking that like I talk to my kids as if they're pieces of shit. So I'm definitely going to say this. Now, yes, do I curse? Yes. I don't want to be that person like Jay, where if someone cusses at him and someone says, fuck you, he pokes his chest out and gets really upset. Where if somebody says, fuck you to me, I'll look at them and be like, okay, fuck you too. And, I turn around and keep it moving because it doesn't offend me the way it offends him. And I understand that they should be offended, by someone talking to them crazy. But at the same time, I don't want them to get angry and get into these crazy fights when they're older and they're men because someone's talking to them when it's just a fucking word. 1, 2, sometimes the word fuck is very necessary in a sentence. 3, I don't degrade my children with my mouth. So I don't look at my kids and say, you fucking little piece of shit, motherfuckers. I don't do that. But I will tell them to clean their motherfucking room. Or I will tell them to go take out the fucking garbage because I done told them 3 times already. And now I'm cussing. All right. So I just want to make that clear because that is very serious. And I don't need people thinking that I'm like some crazy, ridiculous, ghetto ass mother that talks to their kids crazy. So now.
Hey, Ladine.
Word. What's good?
Ladine.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Fuck you too, nigga.
Well, I'm glad you got that out of your chest, Nadine, because that explains, where
right.
you're cursing.
I'm glad you had that moment of clarification. And maybe because I know you not just cutting your kids out like you would somebody. Right. But it is a significant distinction to make, right? Because I'm not that person. Like it used to be that don't call me a bitch, because growing up for me, that was like fighting words. Mm-hmm. Like you just didn't do it. And so I had to make that adjustment, like just looking at who the person is and where they're coming from and how and why they use it. So, if you call me a bitch, Ladine, I don't get offended. Like, every now and then my hair might stand up a little bit, but I know you don't mean it the way that it meant when I was growing up. So I don't walk away angry,
Right. But it's a term of endearment.
Absolutely. And for me, it's like I still can't call it that, but I get it, but it is important that we want to think about that, the perspective of the person, but that's something that's hard for children to understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly
they have a hard, just like anything else, they have a hard time distinguishing, they don't have that level of discretion yet, So, all right. We got that cleared out of the way. Ladine, for everybody listening, Ladine does not cuss out her children.
Unless they deserve that shit.
Unless it's the 3rd time.
And if you ever meet Ladine and she says fuck you, Don't worry about it. Just say fuck you too and keep on moving, and y'all are still straight. All right.
All
Number
right.
3, JR.
That's still a bunch of bullshit that she just replied with, but I got to go on to 3.
Oh my God! There you go, Jay.
No,
Okay,
what did you?
on to
Okay,
3.
okay. So no, because like,
Jay,
nah, man.
Don't go in the middle of the ocean, Jay.
I ain't going in the middle of the ocean. But okay,
It's a long swim back, Jay.
I own my boat. Goddamn it,
It's not worth it.
You own your own boat.
I own my own goddamn boat.
Saying. Number 3, Jay.
I'm going to number 3, but I'm gonna voice something right quick. everybody that got a chance to defend themselves and rebut their defense, but me, because my wife speaks louder than me, so I guess she's right. So number 3.
This nigga.
See, that ain't right, Jay.
It ain't right. No, what's not
That ain't right.
Is,
And ain't no
it's not
treating you
right.
like that. You
It's
had an
giving-
opportunity to
Know what I'm
defend when
saying?
she
What's not
was
right
talking.
is giving her own segment to rebut my shit. Like she had a whole fucking segment to rebut. And she got a number 4.
You didn't rebut her shit when she was talking.
And you told me to shut up, and I shut up.
I told her to shut up too, but she just don't listen.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But you weren't either. So get your rebut because I don't want you.
Welcome to my pet peeves. I don't know.
To take your toys and go home. So go ahead and get.
It's going to be really quick.
But
what I was saying was
3.
Yeah. What I was really saying was akin to what you said was kids don't have the life experience or the know-how to know how to determine whether you mean it a certain way or not. All they know is they getting cussed at. And they know that shit's not right in some way. And if you weren't going to change it, don't tell me you were going to change it. Just say, no, nigga, this is who the fuck I am, and deal with it. That was my
That's what I did.
Huh?
Okay. Number 3.
All right.
Number
3. All right. So
Here comes the heater.
no, this was kind of funny, right? So my wife likes to lead with negativity, right? So one of my biggest pet peeves is like just
Ladine.
God damn, please kick her off the show. I'm done with this lady talking through my conversation.
You're gonna get a timeout, Ladine.
Right. Like, see, I'm about to add another one to your list. So, for instance, if my wife made white people potatoes one day, right? They had no seasoning, like no salt at all, nothing. So my kids and me started calling them white people potatoes because they didn't have no seasoning in them. They was terrible. And she got hot. Like, why the fuck y'all calling my food white people potatoes? There wasn't no salt in it. Like, she was hot. But every day I cook, she got to find something to pinpoint about what's wrong with the meal I cook. And then 15 minutes later is, thanks for dinner. So she has no issue. That's one of my pet peeves. She has no issue pointing out the negativities in something that I do. But when I pick out something, or if I just say something that's not totally positive, she fly off the handle and she hate me for it. So that's my third one.
So you saying she can dish it, but she can't take it?
Right.
I'm just saying. I'm just paraphrasing what he said. That ain't come from me.
That is right.
Yes. I'm just saying.
believe this shit right now.
Okay.
But I'm gonna let these shit ride.
Yes, let it go. And right there, we getting ready to go to Al. We're not even gonna give y'all two an opportunity to go at it again. Okay,
Right.
Al, just go on. What you got? What you got, babe? What you got?
What you got, Al?
What you got? So, okay. So let's just provide some context here.
Oh boy, here we go.
Al?
Provide some context, right?
Here
So
we
generally speaking, me and my wife are like yin and yang, right? So we are like 95% of this shit. We're pretty opposite on a lot of shit, right?
Right, because you always wrong and I'm always right.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a minute, host.
So, and I also will admit that in this relationship, I'm the asshole, right? So I'm the one that is probably 30 times more annoying than she is, and less accommodating than she is as well. So her list is probably 20, 25 deep. No lie. So this is gonna be real interesting as I come up with my shit, and then she has to filter her 3. She might even slip a 4th one in of her list of 50 items.
I'm going 5 deep.
5 deep. Okay. The privilege of being the host for the week, I guess. So let's start with my number 1. So let's say, I'm a movie person. Love movies. And I really do even appreciate the movies that have a lot of dialogue. Like the dialogue, you gotta pay attention to shit and listen, because if you miss something, it's gonna come up later. Or it might even be a plot twist that you might be like, yo, okay, they said that in the first 15 minutes. I really like to, when I'm watching a movie, zone out, watch the movie. My wife, on the other hand, is not necessarily a movie person, a plot person. Don't even like movies that have like Pulp Fiction, where you gotta, listen to the different lines because there's some weird shit. I don't really like movies like that. So she's pretty flip at talking during the movie. Pisses me the hell off every time. And it's like, to the point that I'll press pause. I'll hit rewind. Because if it's on her list or it's not on the list, one of the things that drives her crazy is I ain't the best listener, right? I admit that. I ain't the best listener. Zone out and think about some other shit in a heartbeat, right? So in this instance, I'm trying to pay attention, really, because I really want you to get back to the movie. So I'm going to try to give you your 30 seconds because I don't want it to go longer than that because the movie is good. So I'm going to do my best to listen so that we can get back to the movie. But throughout our relationship, and my son does it too, so he picked it up from her. I mean, and it could be movie night. Like, it could be, like, it ain't even some random shit. We just happen to be watching Law and Order or SVU or some shit like that. We could go to sit down, pick out movie. It takes 30 fucking movies to find a movie on Netflix. We find the movie, we ready, popcorn, chips, drinks, everybody ready, we ready. So, Al, let me ask you this. What do you think about, hold on, Wait a minute. The movie started. Where was you 30 minutes ago when we was looking for the movie? Like, why right now do you want to ask me that question?
Y'all, I can't even deny it because it's the absolute truth. And y'all should see the look that he gives me as he presses pause. Like, and my daughter's in the room with us and she's cracking up because she knows it's the truth. He like presses the pause like real hard. And he tilts his head and just stares at me like. But I got a question, so I need to ask.
Is it a question about the movie, or is it just some random question?
It could be either.
Rarely is it about the movie. Rarely is about the movie because I don't even mind that. I'll
So Gina, like, are you conscious of it? Like,
Hi.
Really, I don't realize it until he gives me that look after he presses that pause really hard. Then I get that look, and then it's like, oh, I did it again, huh? So that's it most of the time. But sometimes, like Al, you will have to say though, I've gotten better. I don't interrupt you every movie
No.
now. But sometimes I just don't say. Like he said, he don't listen to me. Like at other times, I'd be like, wait, you a captive audience right now. I just need to know this right now. Like I forgot to tell you about this earlier. So let me tell you now.
Wow.
All right. Okay, you got that one. What's number 2?
Number 2. Okay. So I find humor in the craziest of things. I admit it. Again, a self-admitted asshole. Then I get it, right? I get that shit. I praise her for even staying with me that long. Right? I get it. One of the things I really, really, really enjoy in life. I've been doing it all my life. Like I was a guy as a teenager. If you ask me for directions on the street, I'm gonna send you the other direction. I was that guy. Right? I'm telling you, I got a weird sense of humor.
That's not funny.
One of the things I really enjoy is fuck people. Kids, teenagers, old people. It don't really matter. I like having about some of the weirdest shit, and like I'll make it up, lie, whatever. Just if they gonna indulge me in thinking just having this crazy conversation, like, did I ever tell you about this time I walked in New Jersey? And somebody's going to engage me in that shit. I enjoy having that conversation. Here comes my wife behind me. He never walked in New Jersey. What? Why you got a room? Why you got to fuck with? Look, I had them going here. No. She'll just come in and just be like, what'd he say? Really? Like, come on, man.
Your boob killer? Is that what you're saying?
Boob killer, yeah.
No. Well, call it what you want, right? But I have gotten better about that too. But listen, y'all, I think it's cruel depending on what the subject is, right? But I also think and it's a pet peeve of mine, like that he does that. Y'all don't count this as one of mine because I'm just talking about his.
That goes on this, don't it?
No. But I'm just saying, like, if there are other people that's trying to have a serious conversation with him, and he's just taking them down this road to Netherland land, like, what? Like they are believing you, and they think that they are bonding and connecting with you, and you just feeding them a pile of nonsense. Like,
eventually, I will tell you I was just fucking with you, or not. That's my discretion. But either way, yo, this is me. Let me have mine.
Hey.
Whatever. Go on to number 3. I don't like that one. Go to number 3.
Okay, so that's number 2. I'm gonna flip a coin. Should I do 3 or 4? And I brought an extra just as a tiebreaker in case we able to get 4 in. So I'm gonna go with this one here. So, all right. So unlike myself, my wife is a developer. Like she evolves and tries to get better and shit like that. So kudos to her. A pet peeve of mine, though, is the improvements that she can she'll try to accomplish or adopt. They always got to come from somebody else.
Oh, brother.
Not always, but a lot of times. So,
brother.
like, there'll be some shit that she comes back I'm working on, and I'm like, yo, I said that in argument number 742. But when I said it, you just brushed it off like, motherfucker, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Let it come in some self-help book or some Facebook message or some women's empowerment group that she's talking to join in. and they put another spin on it and like a theory behind it or some shit. And then it's like, you know what, Alman? I'm doing this now. And it's like, you know I fucking said that, right? I'm just saying, you know I fucking said that. And it's not about credit. I mean, you know, everybody like, I ain't gonna lie. It ain't about credit, though. It's really about, how the fuck, why you don't listen to me like that? And it's like, no. And maybe it's the way I say it, because again, I'm the asshole, so I ain't always gonna try to sugarcoat it or make it sound the way you want it to sound. I ain't that dude either. However, it is kind of annoying, though, to sit there and just like, you listen, you're like, I'm so happy for you, and you don't want to ruin it, because I'm happy that you're going down this path of like whatever. But does it have to come from Michelle Obama for the shit to be right? That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The answer to your question is yes, it did. It had to come from Michelle Obama.
Right. Because sometimes you're able to receive things from other people differently. That's it.
Right. It's also, sometimes it's the way in which people say things, but sometimes it's also just when you said it 20 years ago, I wasn't ready to receive it. It's really that simple.
And it also might be how you started off my segment, which is you right and I'm wrong.
It's that too. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. It also has a lot to do with, when you and your epitome of assholeness, like, I ain't trying to hear what you have to say.
Right.
And so you can't approach me like an asshole and be like, "Ooh, do this," because I'm not listening to you right now.
Wow. In that sense, I'm waiting on Eva Mendes to tell me to pick up my socks.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of y'all.
Well, you better go get Eva.
I said, in that case, I'm going to wait on Eva Mendes to tell me to pick up my socks.
See. I ain't going to touch that one.
I'm saying, you waiting on Michelle?
Pants so I can hear what you have about me.
Okay. You don't need to pants. I don't think. Because you kind of helped me out, and I already commented on a couple of your things. But those things wasn't even on my list. Because you're right, my list is a little long. But, I ain't going to go there. So, one of my things is, my husband doesn't cook a whole lot. Right. And when he cooks, most of the time it's on the grill, and those who know him know that that's one of his favorite things to do. He throw it on the grill. The most annoying thing that he does as he's cooking, I go to get the seasonings, and the shit's be like dirty as hell. It's like, dude, I don't even understand why your hands have so much seasoning and stuff on them in the first place. But if that's how you season your meat, you got to get the stuff on the front of your hands, the back of your hands, under your nails, like all up to your elbows. Okay, that's you. But after you touch the garlic and the salt and the pepper and the onion powder and everything else, can you wipe the shit off? Like, why are you putting it back? So when I go to take out the daggone seasonings, I'm like, it feels like just grit is just pasted on all the seasonings. I don't even understand. Like, he is the messiest, and we're not even going to talk about. We ain't even going to talk about where the seasonings are every place else. Like, I just don't understand why there's so much evidence left in the kitchen after you finish cooking. I don't get it.
He said evidence.
Oh my God! Wait,
it's evidence. Like, you got to know. Like, you could have been going all day. You come home and he's been in the kitchen cooking.
Can I talk? Dude, Can I step in here for a second?
Sure, a half a second.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Ain't nobody ever asked Beethoven.
Say it. Finish.
Like, why is the symphony room so fucking dirty?
Hey,
ain't nobody asked him that shit.
Hallelujah.
They just said, thank you for the music.
Praise
right?
the Lord.
You know why?
So all I'm saying is, when I'm in the midst of creating, I don't be thinking about shit like that.
Shit.
To her point. Now, everything she said is true. I ain't even denying near point of it. And to the point that, I did try to recognize how nasty and disgusting it might be to grab a thing of pepper and be like, ew.
The hell
Okay.
is
And I try to wipe it down now. I try to, be a little more intentional and wipe it down when I'm putting the shit back. But I'm just
saying,
gonna leave it at that.
You done spread salmonella all over the kitchen.
right?
All
But
over.
that salmonella is delicious, though.
Only when it stays on the meat. It ain't delicious on the container of salt. It just ain't. And ain't nobody asked Beethoven to clean up his symphony room because there wasn't nobody else in there making music. That was just him. That was his room. If you had your own kitchen, I wouldn't say shit to you about how you kept your kitchen.
Yo, seriously, this is great because Gina and I actually had this conversation before because, of course, we are outlaws to the Glimp family. And it was so perfect one day because we were together and we were watching my brother-in-law cook, and she smacks my leg and she's like, look. And I'm like, what? She said, he's wiping down the spices. And watched and witnessed because it's not like all men don't know what to do. All right, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. He might. I'll give him 1 out of 6 times that he cooks that he might remember to wipe down a spice. He done used 10 of them to wipe down every 6 times in the kitchen.
Speaking of 2, what's number 2 on your list?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with.
See, she got a list, right? So
I got a list. I'm picking and choosing.
Scroll.
I'm gonna go with wearing dirty, run-down shoes.
Oh, ow.
Y'all.
That's not my type.
Y'all. Y'all, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. That's one of the things, and I even try to teach my son, but unfortunately, he's got that characteristic from his dad, and he wears sneakers.
Oh my God, I cannot.
And I just be like, dude, you are being so disrespectful to those white sneakers right now. Like, white sneakers should never, ever, ever, ever look like that. But I'm just saying. So my husband, he'll wear these shoes, and it doesn't matter. It's sneakers, it's work shoes. It's it does not matter, y'all. And I keep his shoes on point. He's got new shoes. He's got crisp shoes. I ain't polishing his shoes and all of that. I don't do all of that. But I'm just saying, when the shoes look like they need to be replaced, I just go ahead and replace them. But he don't wear the new shoe until he decides that the old shoe is too run down for him to wear.
Wow.
Got holes leaning over and shit. Can you please not wear these?
I'm like, I don't even understand. You making us look like real poor right now, and we not. And I just don't know why we just can't have decent shoes on our feet. I'm just saying.
So
here we go.
No defense, just an explanation, right? So when it comes to my sneakers, because it's a different rationale for different things. When it comes to my sneakers, if I'm whether it's around the house, working outside, or even just going to the supermarket, I really don't give a damn really what my sneakers look like or who says or gives it or looks at my sneakers and be like, believe you in Kroger and you got scratches on your Nikes. I don't give a fuck like that, right? And when it comes to work, I guess I have different modes where I'm so there are some days, some outfits where I'm thinking, you know what, I want to make an impression. My shoes matter. And then there's some I'm just going to work. And again, I don't give a fuck who looks at my shoes and says some other shit. That ain't my concern at all. So 9 out of 10 times when it comes to my footwear, what matters most is comfort. That's what matters most when I put something on my feet. Are these bitches comfortable? And if they comfortable, then I'm gonna wear your ass until till I can't wear you no more. I find another pair that's more comfortable, because when my feet hurt, my back hurt, my leg hurt, it's like a whole lot. And so to me, I don't been got over I just choose comfort over anything else.
She said you got new comfortable shoes though. She said
I got new shoes. They don't necessarily be comfortable.
Comfort don't have anything to do with my point, right? Because I'm all for if you find a particular brand or maker of shoes that just fit your feet fine and they comfortable, we can buy that same shoe over and over again. It ain't even about style. It's not about, I want you to be comfortable too, because I'm at that age. I'm past that, I'm not going to be in pain just to be cute. That's not what we're talking about.
Right.
You can find some comfortable shoes that's not run over. You ain't got to wear the shoe until
not dusty.
Maybe comfort to him is when the shoe is shaped like his foot. Maybe.
Chiquita, don't help him. Don't help him.
No, it's funny. She's not helping him. I think it's hilarious.
No.
No, I understand. It's not just that. Us as women, the same way y'all want to see us look good and you want to see us dress nice and you want to, look at us like, damn, my wife looks good. We want to look at y'all like that too sometimes. I want to look at my husband and be like, damn, my nigga look fly. Come on, baby. Do that shit, And when you wearing some dusty kicks, I'm looking at you like, yeah, that's what we doing? Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that don't work. That don't work. Still.
Yeah, that don't work too much for my husband. So I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna go on to number three. Number three.
Here comes the heater.
No, I'm still trying to decide. Oh my God. So I'm gonna roll two into one, right?
Oh,
and we'll call word. We're gonna call it we'll call it table manners or etiquette.
3.5.
So
3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna throw two out here. So my husband has this habit of licking his fingers. Yeah, and when I say licking his fingers, I'm talking about all 5 of them on each hand. So we talking about 10 fingers just get licked like it's just the best ever. The napkin be on the table next to his plate. This dude just want to lick his fingers. And it's just like, that is so disgusting. Why are you licking his fingers? So in between the licking of the fingers, right? So he'll pick up his glass and then his glass be all dirty, because, he been licking his fingers. And then he want me to drink from his glass. I'd be like, nah, I can't do it because I need a clean glass. I can't have my glass all greasy and shit. But in between, as he drinks, he'll start talking, but he don't swallow the liquid. So he talks.
She done went into 3, 4, 5, y'all.
Right.
This is 3, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this is easily 2.
But I can whatever. I can do that. And so he'll talk like he holds the liquid in the bottom of his mouth, and he'll be talking and he's got it down to a science because he don't ever spill any of the liquid out of his mouth. But we just got to have
this is disgusting.
2 whole sentences while he's holding his liquid in his mouth before he decides to swallow. Okay, I'm done. That was my 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want to call it. That's what.
So again, I ain't defending myself.
He can't deny it.
Funny about this, right? Is like when she first shared the pet peeve, I didn't even know what she was talking about. That's how it is so part of who I am. And then one day I'm doing it, and she's like, "That's it right there. That's it right there." And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh, yeah, I do that, huh? Yeah, all right. You got me." And when it comes to licking my fingers, it's only because the shit be good. And I could wipe that shit off on a napkin, but fuck that. This shit is good. So I want that juice too. Give me that. That's where that comes from.
It's nasty, y'all. And my son adored well, I guess he still does, but when he was little, adored my husband so much that he was probably about, I don't know, 8 or 9. And we at the table, this little boy think he gonna start talking with liquid in his mouth. I was like, oh, hell no. No. We're gonna stop that right now.
We're not gonna have 2 in the house.
Right, not at all. I can control this one. The big one, I ain't nothing I can do about that. Not too much anyway. But that little one, that's not what you're going to do. All right, y'all. So we have had some really interesting, some funny, pet peeves. And I heard that y'all had did a show with pet peeves before.
We did.
The guy saying, what ours was and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And Al's drinking habits came up in that episode too.
I'm trying because he know it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So for some of these were pretty light. Some of them was a little heavier, and I know that some of us have like the heavier ones that we held back or whatever. But in a bigger scheme of things, right? Like, how do you decide what to let go of? How do you deal with the pet peeves? Like, is it still like, are there some that's still just a constant argument? Like, nobody is yielding on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so how do you deal with it? Keita and Thomas, generally speaking, do y'all just let most of them go? Do you bitch about it every time it happens? They just like, that's who he is. I love him anyway.
We kind of just let it go. We do point it out. We let it go and we point it out.
She points it out.
You let go because you don't say much anyway.
I'll let go.
You have things kept inside.
I'm like bygones. I let bygones be bygones. But
I'm a pillow talker. He doesn't really like to talk much. But I think I let things go and I point it out. I'm like, why are you doing that? Yeah, I don't look at them all with the stank face a lot. Like, please a lot. But that doesn't help anything though, because like the pet peeves are always gonna be there. That's something that's real strong in that person. Like, he just keeps forgetting about his feet.
Please stop it. Hey man, she just saying that for a laugh on the show.
Hey, Keita, please stop, because we're going to come back next week and Thomas going to be talking about, wait a minute, I got to say this, I got to redeem myself from last week.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Keita and she niggas alone.
Don't worry, Chiquita. Jay always forgets his feet. Don't worry.
Hey. It was a good thing because I feel like it's best for you to say it, because if not, you're going to always just be thinking about it. Because another one was when he used to wear these boxers. I don't knock men for wearing boxers or whatever, but like the old school boxers or whatever. Okay. That's fine.
10 years ago, go ahead.
But for me, I like briefs.
10 years ago.
And so,
Tidy, why you
wait.
Have these boxers on? Huh?
Briefs or boxer briefs?
Boxer briefs.
Okay.
Okay, because I feel like that's a little sexy. You get to see a little structure. I mean, bring something else, going on. Like, I don't want to see these big boxers. And they got chafe in the middle of the leg and all that stuff.
10 years ago.
I agree 100%, Peter.
So that's what I had to say. If not, he would have continued keep doing it.
Will not. Right.
But both y'all still doing better than me. You get half a body lotioned, Keita. Ladine, you get most of your body. He still missed the ankles. My husband don't lotion anything.
And
he moisturizes his head. That's it.
That's it.
I go all natural.
Well, because I have oily skin and a lot of heavy shit on my skin bothers me.
Me too.
So, but it's cool. My wife's feet crack right now. I ain't gonna say nothing though.
They go shaking out them shots.
I'm saying.
But no, in her
Y'all talking about
defense,
feet? I thought we was talking about feet. I was just talking about feet.
That's the phone to feet.
But
That's
now
the phone.
next,
Huh?
Ashy and
look,
classy. That's
yeah, he's throwing all them shots. But anywho,
All right, so JR and Ladine, how do y'all deal with your pet peeves?
I'll let you begin, shot caller.
No, I thought you was. I mean, I just thought
All right,
by
between
Jr.
the two of y'all got 5 seconds.
Yeah, by Jr. and Ladine. I thought she just meant Ladine. But I'll go. For me personally, I think we both grown in that area of accepting our own faults and not being so defensive. So when she does throw things out, there are a lot of things that, in the past when I was younger and you get, you're so defensive, you learn to let things slide a little more, like just roll off your shoulders. And you learn to accept other people's faults because you have your own. So, we kid and we joke. But for the most part, my wife's not a nagger, so she doesn't hound me about my stuff. And I'm so laid back that not many things bother me like that. So, I know she don't like when I wear old sneakers and shit, but it's not that big of a deal to me, so I don't even argue back. So I think it's just kind of reciprocal to me.
And I would like to say, it's just the little things that, so, for instance, my husband hating, or in the beginning of our relationship, putting his foot down when it came to me cussing at him, that was one of the most beautiful things that came out of our relationship. It taught me a lot of different lessons about, how to respect each other. It's really allowed our relationship to grow beautifully, because I was raised, again, I'm from New York. I was raised around a bunch of people that talk to each other incredibly disrespectfully. So I think just opening up the levels of communication has definitely helped. We've also been through some serious stuff, and I think that with everything that we've been through, learning to just talk about it. Like Keita said, just freaking look, just say it. If I'm getting on your fucking nerves, tell me to shut up. If something I'm doing bothers you, let me know. And I really think that that's just the biggest part. But then there's the things that you learn to live with and picking your battles with. Is this conversation even worth it? Or why am I even getting mad at you?
Right.
Just up and do the dishes. So I think it just depends on the situation. But all in all, I still love that man. Okay.
I still love that man.
Still love you too,
right. Al?
I think so. Right Club, there was a line. Ed Norton talking about the Brad Pitt character, and he's like, "This guys and what doesn't." And I think for me, that's really been my approach. I really some shit just don't matter to me. And when it matters, it matters. When it don't, it just don't matter. So a lot of times pet peeves are shit that matters to me, but a lot of times those pet peeves are just who a person is. And me and my wife, we've, argued over the years in terms of whose responsibility is it when someone is offended. And my approach generally has been if that's who the person is, and you've signed up to be with that motherfucker, maybe I need to check myself. Maybe she needs to check herself about getting offended, because if I'm signing up to be with you, I'd rather you be who you are authentically than having to worry about, shit, is this offending him? Am I offending her? So I tend to, generally speaking, ignore pet peeves and just keep it moving. But that being said, I have, over the years, more recent years than earlier years, tried to be more respectful for her perspective and try to wipe down the spices. Because I know what's a pet peeve. And I still lick my fingers.
Yes, he does. But the good thing about that, and so sometimes I think, so I agree with just about everything that everybody said. it's about a give and take. It's about that compromise. It's about, knowing when to say something, when not, what matters, what doesn't matter, and I think that's something that comes out of, because sometimes it is necessary to say it, right? Because I think it's a joint responsibility. Yes, it may be who you are, but if it's offensive to someone, in my opinion, you have a responsibility not to offend people, right? Does that mean that you're changing who you are? No, not necessarily. It just means that you're accommodating somebody else. And when you're in a relationship, whether it's a marriage or a friendship or child, mother, whatever, like there are just times when you need to accommodate people. And to me too, like some of them, not all of them, but some of these pet peeves are, it would help the other person to be a better person. Right. And isn't that what we're supposed to be doing anyway? Like trying to be better people. And whether it's something that you think is important, if it's something that your boss might think is important, then maybe that's something that you should work on to be better about, and so it's knowing the circumstances. Like it's a whole lot of things, and sometimes it's just letting it go. But one thing that I think comes out of it, like with his finger licking, he's at least aware of it. He wasn't even aware of it before. And so now I don't have to worry about him necessarily like being in a business meeting at a business lunch licking his fingers, because now he's like, yo, all right,
Oh God.
there's something I do. Let me pull out my napkin.
For the record, I never did it at business meetings because
only at church functions.
I'm comfortable. I feel like at home I can be Alvin. I don't have to be the professional fucker. When I'm at home, I think people should be at peace and not have those stresses of, oh, who should I be? Motherfucker, be you at home.
Okay, but if it's something that you don't even realize that you're doing, you can't say that you don't do it outside if it's a habit that you're not even aware that you're doing. I'm just saying. So on that note, thank y'all for a great show.
Gina, really quickly, yes. I did ask this question on our Facebook page, and we got some responses. Can I read a couple?
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. So we had about 20 responses. People got a kick out of this. I'll just read a couple of them that stood out. So my boy John from Philly, his was, and I think this would be big for anyone.
Wait, what was the question?
What are your biggest pet peeves in a marriage?
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And John's answer was lying for no reason and living in your own reality, self-accountability, where any discrepancy is always on the other person's fault. So that's pretty interesting. John sounded like he'd been through some shit. Another was from Ladine's cousin, Dom. Shout out to you, Dom. He's a newlywed, by the way. Dominic's response was not putting dirty things where they belong, dishes in the sink or clothes in the hamper, stuff like that. Pretty interesting. And let's see, another one. Shout out to Donald Kincaid. When my spouse starts telling me how to drive when I'm the one who taught her how to drive. So, pretty funny stuff.
I'm just saying, she could have got better than him.
Right, yeah. Maybe the students become the master. Our cousin Chandra Staten Patterson. Chandra's response to the question was constantly clicking the remote to the car door. From the front door all the way to the car. He clicks the damn electronic door opener continuously. That is plain to me.
That's a good one.
That's hilarious.
Why do that?
Right.
You I'm a toy.
Right. And I do that too, just playing with it. Like never even think what you're doing.
I do it too sometimes.
Oh man. So shout out Chandra. And then our very own Lynn from Anything, Everything, and Nothing from Lynn and Kim. Lynn's pet peeves in a marriage is that she's not in one. So hope you find that, man, and you can have some pet peeves soon, man.
That's funny.
So shout out to all of our listeners, man. Just wanted to read a couple of those while we had them online.
Shout out.
All right.
Thanks, Jay, for bringing that in.
And I also want to set a goal for myself. I want to move my goal up from 75% to 95% accuracy on making sure I get my feet out the shower.
That was good.
Push yourself, boo. Push
Right.
yourself.
Still,
It's all about self improvement.
right. But still,
Now I can massage the feet. See, I can go up the shoulder.
but rule number one still stands. Boo. Don't put them ashy ass feet on our Instagram page, man. That rule still stands.
Please.
Don't nobody want to see your ashy ass feet, cuz.
Hey, they straight.
Keep it at the house. Keep it at the house.
I do them joints, man. I just said, I went from 75 to 95% accuracy. So, 75% of the time I get them.
Okay.
Hey, that's growth. We'll take it. We'll take it. Chiquita, you good with that growth?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I can deal with it.
Hey, when we get to that 90%, the other 10% of the time, you go ahead and do it for him. How about that?
Okay, that sounds like a deal.
Yeah, she could be like, "Come in, Thomas. Let me get your pinky toe."
All right, y'all. Another great show. Thanks for listening to One Eye Shut. And we will see y'all next week. Same time, same channel.
Love y'all.
Love you back.
Bye.
Yeah.
Peace.
Good night.